According to some of last week's newspapers leading up to the VE Day weekend, we should now all be free after what I saw being called Magic Monday. But here we all are on the 6th Sunday of Easter, still locked in at home, with only a few small changes in place. This is the 8th Sunday since the Prime Minister announced the full lockdown. I make that comfortably over 50 days. It is certainly over 60 days since the announcement was made to close all churches. One change this week is that I'm now allowed into church for prayer and recording services. But if you can't go in, then neither will I. So we will all return to church together. So here I am in the vicarage garden again. It is looking like we'll all be doing this until at least July, and I make the first possible Sunday back the 5th. It is another 7 weeks away, or almost another 50 days. Put like that, we're just over halfway. This new way of life is starting to feel rather permanent. We are all doing our best to stay safe, but the invisible enemy we're all facing has not gone away. The digital and communications technology we have available in our homes in this country is certainly helping, but so is good old-fashioned telephones and letter writing. Obviously best is sending a postcard to someone written on one of the free gift set in the May Spire magazine. Letter writing is as old as humanity, and it was a letter written by Peter that we'd heard an extract from just now. It was written to 5 Christian churches scattered across Asia Minor who were clearly suffering and under real pressure for their beliefs. The message is that suffering is worth it for the sake of good, as Christ suffered for the sins of all, once and for all. Peter then reminds his listeners of the story of Noah, but from a rather unexpected viewpoint, as he says, God waited patiently in the days of Noah during the building of the ark, in which a few, that is 8 persons, were saved through water. Now the story is normally told as Noah, his family and all the animals waiting patiently for the water level to go down, which if you check the original story in Genesis takes about a year. But Peter is saying that God was being patient while waiting for Noah and his family to hurry up and build the ark, because he couldn't send the mighty flood until they'd finished. So, for the most well-known story of social isolation in the Bible, even God himself was having to be patient and wait, knowing all would be well. Incidentally, I popped into church earlier this week, once the restrictions were lifted a bit, and our safe ark is doing just fine. It will need a good clean before we go back, but all is well. Next time we're all in, take some time to just look up at the roof beams and enjoy the fact that you are under the hull of an upturned giant boat, our own ark, to keep us safe. That is why that part of the church is called the nave, from the Latin word for a ship, navis, like those things the Navy use. At the moment, we can't return to our own ark on the green. We are locked into our home arks to keep us safe from the threatening wind and storms outside. Unlike Noah and his family, we can't see the danger. The view out of the window looks great in this lovely weather. Sitting here in the garden, I don't feel under any real threat at all, but the threat is so real. So we should hold in our prayers all those who are affected in any way, or who are risking their lives for us on the front line. And the NHS, in care homes, are all the key workers just keeping life going for us. We do all need to be patient and hold on to our faith that all will be well. We kept Easter together, but apart, and before July we will keep Ascension, when Christ ascended back to heaven after his resurrection. Pentecost, when the Holy Spirit came among us as our advocates to be with us forever, as well as Trinity Sunday, the feast of Corpus Christi, without forgetting red letter days for St. Barnabas, St. Peter and St. Paul, St. Thomas, and the birth of John the Baptist. That does sound like a lot to be missing, but remember that our ark is waiting patiently for us to come back, and with patient faith and love, we will all get through, together, while apart.